CoolCalmMaurice.
Yo, this is CoolCalmMaurice, and we're chilling in the kitchen, about to make some beats. Let's get it. Kitchen sample session. So for today's session, we're gonna be using the SP404sx to make our beats, and our sample source is going to be YouTube. Really easy spot to get samples, right? Say you just got this machine, you're a beginner, you don't got turntables, you don't got vinyl. What you do have though is a laptop, maybe a cell phone. You can pull up YouTube. There's a bunch of sources on YouTube to get samples. I'm gonna show you just a few places where I go, some easy ones that have really good sounds for someone just starting out, just digging for samples and trying to find something they like. So let's get onto YouTube, and I'll show you guys the process and how I do it. All right, first things first. Whenever I make beats, I need to start off with the drums, or I like to start off with my drums first. The drums provide the rhythm for my beat. So, once I get that rhythm established, I can then take the samples, chop them up, and play them against the drums to create, whatever beat I'm feeling for that moment, whatever I feel. So, good source for drum breaks on YouTube is Armando Drum Breaks. Come here, just type it in the search, come to his channel, it'll look something like this. Go to videos, and then here you have just a bunch of drum break samples from various records. From here, you can just go through, just click whatever appeals to you, whatever you vibe with, whatever sounds good. I went with this Soulful Strings Jingle Bells because it's Christmas season, the holidays and all that. I figured, let's see what this is about. So here's a drum break that that I sampled. Alright, boom, there it is. Sounds really nice. You can hear that vinyl crackle in there. It's going to be really good. It's going to sound really nice in the SP once we put some little effects on it. But there you have it. There's our drums. Alright. Cool. So once we have our drums, next we're going to need our main sample. A good place to find samples on YouTube is going to be Vinyl Frontier 2, especially if you're a beginner, especially if you don't have a record player or records that you can go on YouTube, Vinyl Frontier, and this dude, he's straight up on the daily is loading samples on his page. So you could just come through here, just randomly click things, maybe something catches your eye, and bam, I want to listen to this, and you just click on it and listen to it, and go through it. If you like it, just sample it. A lot of good stuff on here. So what I did for this beat is I came here and just clicked on this right here, Ethel Ennis, Dreamer. This is what I got. This is what I sampled. And going through this, right? Dreamer. I'll go through and listen to the whole song, right? And usually, there's different ways to sample, right? There's a lot of different ways to sample. I would suggest just doing what feels good for you. Just experiment with it. You could find a loop within this, sample that loop, and then chop that up, or you can go through and just pick out the parts that you like. So what I did for this was I went through and I went through and I sampled the little parts within the song that I liked. And so I think I got her saying Dreamer. There was a spot in here.
No one sees one day
around here where it's just the piano going, it's really nice. So instead of taking the whole thing, I took little parts that sounded cool to me. So as you can see, this is a really, really dope sample. A lot of things to sample from this. There was also a little part in here that I sampled.
Dream,
Let's see if I can find it.
Each time dreaming and dream.
I got her saying Dreamer right here.
Dreamer.
That was really dope to me. And then there's this other part coming up that was really, I was like, yo, that sounds dope. So I took that as well. This part. Yeah, I think it was that part right there. So yeah, so that was my sample. Recorded all those parts into the SP, and then trimmed them, however I seen fit. So let's get to the SP and see if we can kind of make a beat using these sounds. Let's go. All right, cool. So we got our drum break into our SP. This is the break. Cool. So that's in there. We're ready to chop it up. One thing to note, whenever you're sampling things into the SP, you can add the effects as it's coming into the machine, or you could just sample it to the SP and then add the effects after using resample, right? So what I did was I just I didn't add any effects to the sound coming in. I will chop up a break, create my own sequence, and then from there, that's when I would add the effects onto it and then resample as necessary. But one thing to remember is whenever you're recording the drums, make sure you hit that stereo button so you can record the drums in mono. So what I did with that sample is I took it and I copied it along these pads. And then to chop it up, I would just hit the mark button on the different parts of that drum break that I wanted. And then to trim those up, you just use your start and you just adjust your start and end points. So what I got out of that drum break was this right here. Got this kick, got another kick, snare, a snare with like a kick at the end, and then I took that end part right here, took that right there, so it'll be like the turnaround whenever I create my drum loop. So this is the pattern that I got based on the drum chops that I have. So this is it right here. Boom. Once it hits that last one, boom, created my drum loop. So doing this, what I'm saying, like based on what I had chopped up, I kind of just sat here and just like messed around with it, kind of just started playing with the sounds, and whatever came to my mind is what I did. Practiced that, and then ended up recording it, and then I got this drum loop right here. Cool. So that's it right there. I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll do. It sounds cool. That's what I'm vibing with right now. So that's our drums. Let's get the sample next. Alright, cool. So we got our sample loaded up in the SP. Remember, for that, what I did was I just picked the parts that I liked from the song and I sampled it individually onto these pads. I filled up 10 pads, and also what I did was, as the sound was coming into the SP, I added some vinyl sim to each sound. And this is the samples that I got. These are the chops that I got from that. Boom. So those are our sounds. So then from this point, how I created the beat was I would play my drums, my drum loop, and as my drum loop was playing, I would just go through hitting the different chops to see what type of rhythm, what type of beat, and how it flows. And whatever I came up with, or however I come up with it, is that's basically the process on how I make my beats. Um, so this is kind of what I got with it, and it kind of worked out pretty good because um, I could, the way I chopped it, the sounds that I got, um, it kind of flows. I got this rhythm where it flows, and I could kind of hit these different pads, and it ends up working. So this is kind of what it sounds like, right? There's our drum break. So just something like that. That's like kind of what I got from it. So yeah, man, just play around with it. Just have fun. This kind of works out because I basically hitting this pad right here, and then hitting something else, and then boom, boom, boom. So it's kind of cool, right? Because as long as I start with this little chop right here, I could pretty much follow that up with any one of these sounds, and it flows, and then I could create a loop or create a beat with it. And it's just pretty good for like doing like live sets, or what I'm saying, like you see all these guys on YouTube and Instagram playing their SP live. You have the beat, you have your drum loop, play your drum loop along with the chops. I'm not that good at finger drumming, but it's kind of easy. It's easier to play these chops along with the drums. And then when you have your drums, on take off the gate, take off the gate, keep the loop. Um, you could cut out the drums as you're playing these chops. So, for example, like this. Something like that. So let's get into the beat that I created, my little set, my little kitchen cook up session. Let's get it.